put in your mouth guard. That usually means we're not gonna, you know.
Oh.
How lucky can one guy be?
We can still fool around.
Really?
Let me just get my head around it.
Honey, it's fine.
I mean, just
Yeah. My wife and I are on a date. We were hoping to get here earlier, actually get a table.
You didn't quite make it, did you?
We'll be standing over there.
Okay, I've already forgotten about you.
All right.
Triple horn? Party of two?
Maybe we should go someplace else.
I want tonight to be different.
Triple horn.
Us.
What are you doing?
We are the Triple Horns.
From Boston University Center for Digital Imaging Arts, it's the Post Movie Podcast. I'm Steve Head.
And I'm John Black.
And in this week's episode, we're going to review Date Night, the new Steve Carell, Tina Fey movie. And we're going to take a look at some recent DVDs, and then we're just going to make it up as we go and see where this.
Should we apologize ahead of time? Yeah.
That's probably. I apologize.
We'll ring a bell, and after that, you can walk away if you've gotten your full of us by then, because we don't know where it's going.
Forgive us for the last half hour
in advance. But Date Night.
Yeah, which Clash of the Titans cast such a shadow over last week. It's I don't know whether it was a good or a bad shadow. I mean, I did enjoy the movie, but I'm telling you, I can't say it was a great film.
No,
what a mess.
Not so. I don't think it was supposed to be, but it was entertaining. I wouldn't go see it again, and I'm a huge fan of mindless entertainment, as anyone knows. As a DVD list this week will prove.
Oh, okay, sure.
But
Date Night was entertaining, and it's not a great film, but I guess I would give it a thumbs up and take
trademark.
Whatever,
That's trademark, right?
Shots will be fired at me for doing such.
No, I have no problem liking it. And I was writing the review today, and I realized that yes, it's a story we've all seen before. A suburban couple who's stuck in a rut, decide to do something wild and crazy that blows up in their face. It's The Out-of-Towners. It's any number of movies about that subject. But what made it work for me is Steve Carell and Tina Fey. I thought they had great chemistry together. They were funny, but I expected that. But what I liked about it was just the way they acted around each other. And if you watch the movie closely, and let's say they're in a scene together and Tina Fey's talking, Steve Carell is there with like this encouraging look on her to okay, be funny, you can do this. And they work it back and forth, and it just was really charming, for lack of a better phrase.
They are good together. I thought it was going to be awkward.
Yeah.
And it started out that way with their, establishing them as homebodies, mom and dad.
Yeah.
And then, Tina Fey, she just seems to, there's just something in her delivery that just it cracks the ice. And Steve Carell, too, who I've never really liked in anything else but The Office and 40-Year-Old Virgin. But this mostly worked.
Yep. Where I think it didn't work is when the director, Sean Levy, who did Night at the Museum and a bunch of other big comedy movies, where he depends on big action scenes to pump it up. So in this one, you've got this ridiculous car chase,
right?
Where they ram head on into a taxi cab and the bumpers lock, and then they have to drive around New York with the two cars together while a really embarrassing, cab driver, he's
nothing against the actor,
right?
But it was just someone who was obviously cast for reaction and laugh.
Yeah.
And maybe the
just
hyperness of his voice to something funny's happening, something funny's happening.
Yeah. In case you haven't noticed, there's something funny about these cars driving around in this ridiculous way. But
you don't know him, but you're supposed to immediately like him.
Right. And I didn't.
Yeah.
I didn't. He was annoying. The whole car chase was annoying. There was no reason for that. They were fine with their little adventures, running into bad guys and having, fake shootouts and fake fist fights and stuff. They don't need a big budget car thing. But that's what Levy's made his career doing is, he's got to up the ante and make it splash.
The movie, in a way, is harmless because these two, Tina Fey and Steve Carell, are so aloof to the severity of having a gun pointed in their face.
Right.
They're still joking about it,
Excuse me, Mr. and Mrs. Triplehorn.
Get up. Now.
Honey?
Get up. Did you really think you could steal from Joe Miletto?
This is just a big misunderstanding. We are Phil and Claire Foster. Hey, God! No, he turned it sideways. Kill shot! That's a kill shot! We are going to die!
I don't want the kids to live with your mother. She's awful.
You know,
It's so movie.
as
You
a
know, they're in
couple.
on the joke with us. It's
Yeah,
not
yeah.
in a
It's
way-
oh yeah. There's not that level of threat like with something like remember
Yes, level of threat. that's
48 Hours. Was it 48 Hours with Eddie Murphy and Nick Nolte?
Right. Which
There
is
was
a
real
comedy that sort of
tension.
became real. There was a reality to it.
Right. There was a
Here,
real
there's never
tension when there was a
anything
shootout or when someone got punched. This is all clowny behavior.
But I think it's also it's intended because the kids are supposed to see this.
Oh, yeah.
It's not supposed to be anything jarring.
Mm-hmm. But
It's in a way it's just like all of Sean Levy's other films.
Yeah.
It's light entertainment.
with some
Take a look at his filmography.
yeah, with some
It's not anything dangerous.
yeah, with some like Acme Enterprises Roadrunner cartoon violence thrown in that no one's hurt. But one of the things I liked, I was watching Carell and Faye work. There's a scene they go out like their date night. They go out to the same steakhouse. They order the same stuff. That's the kind of rut they're in. No, not Claw. Claw's the one the New York place when they break out. But when they're in the steakhouse at first, and they amuse themselves by sitting there and like, okay, what's the story? And they'll like point to another couple, and they make up stories about
right,
the other couple. I think.
Oh boy, look at these two lovebirds.
No. Now, first date.
Nope, he has a ring on. They both do.
No. Married? They're not married. They're sitting on the same side of the booth. That is not a married move.
Showing off is what it is.
What's the story?
Oh, okay. Third date. First one was okay. Second one was bad. She's giving him one more chance to prove that he is not boring.
And he is not succeeding. I have a potato on my fork. I like to eat potatoes. They're delicious, but I don't actually ever put them in my mouth.
That's amazing, Jeremy, but I'm gonna go home now and fart into a shoebox. It's not. It doesn't make sense.
Woody Allen did something like that, and was it Manhattan? He sat on a bench and they
Robert
told
Downey
stories.
Jr. did that in Wonder Boys.
Yeah, it's this.
They'd invent these.
I guess it's what cute, handsome couples do. I've never had the pleasure of that. But anyway, when they do it, it's just they're really funny, and they have these.
She was great.
The outtakes.
She really was great.
The outtakes during the credits. They show Faye just riffing on who these people are, and it's uproarious. It's just hilarious, And some of them were obviously cut out for a reason. They don't fit, but they're still funny as hell.
She's so great in the sense that she has a real sense of humor about herself, and she knows her presence on screen, and the way she comes off. So she's not afraid to do any of these like bodily humor jokes.
Yeah.
So it's broad stuff, but it's not something women were doing like 10 years ago, and it's
Right.
At the same time you're repulsed. And surprised that she's saying that,
'Cause she has that-
Maybe as a lower grade Sarah Silverman, but it's like, wow, that's kind of
Yeah.
can't believe that just came out of your
That's
mouth.
a little racy. That's a little funny.
Yeah.
You do look good in that outfit. The stripper outfit she wears. It's like, wow, Tina Fey really looks good in that outfit.
Yeah.
And I love Steve Carell's reaction. Like, he can't believe it either. That when she puts on a corset and, like that, we're all kind of like going, huh?
God.
Yeah, we've got to buy that. And everyone understands that. But at the same time, she's doing it for laughs.
Yeah.
And the fact that she looks good while she's doing it just kind of adds to that girl next door with a
She has
dirty
that girl
side.
next to her. We should probably do the summary thing here, basically, and it's not.
I want to talk to your boss right now.
I think we both know that's not gonna happen, Mr. Triple Horn. Or should I say, Phil Foster.
Next time you make a dinner reservation, don't use the same alias as your ransom notes, genius.
Let me explain. My husband, very sweetly but delusionally, thought that we could make it here early enough to get a table, and we didn't. We were late,
They
and
were
when
so
we
rude, that one
heard
guy.
them calling the reservation for triple horns, he was like, us, and so we took it.
So you just took somebody else's reservation?
For the record, I was against it. But my husband gets these plans in his head, and it becomes like a thing.
I'm an idiot.
All right, then do it.
Basically,
You think it? Do it in one sentence. It's not so complicated.
Husband and wife, desperate to reconnect with each other, go to a restaurant, don't get in because they're not part of the cool crowd, so they decide to take the reservation of another couple that didn't show up. They're sitting at the table. They're mistaken for a couple of small-time crooks who have a very valuable flash drive that William Finchner, who was he, the DA or something like that? You know,
Oh, yeah, he's the evil DA.
has some very compromising information on this flash disk, so they
don't forget,
find themselves on the run, and one of the people they go to help them out is the shirtless Mark Wahlberg.
Can't believe out of hundreds of clients, you remember this one guy.
Well, I've always been good with names and faces.
It's amazing you have recall like that, honey. All the people you see to be able to remember one.
Claire Foster.
Holbrook Grant.
Wow. I mean, it's crazy seeing you again. All of a sudden, I'm like flashing back to all those empty houses we saw.
We did look at a lot.
Listen, we're in some trouble, and we really need help.
Yeah, sure, why not? Come on in. Have a seat. Man, you guys are lucky to be alive. You're right, Claire. I would stay away from the cops.
Which is why we were hoping that you would help us.
Well, it's the least I can do. I mean, you are so patient with me. All those long drives up and down the turnpike.
It was my pleasure. And this is definitely the right place for you. I bet the ladies love it, too, right?
I do all right.
I bet you do all kinds of right.
which I think Steve Carell has the line that got the biggest laugh when he finally has it with the shirtless Mark Wahlberg.
Please, for the love of God, would you put a shirt on?
It was the biggest laugh of the whole thing because, you can just see this guy has been through so much, and that's the one thing that pushes him over the edge is that, a beefed up Mark Wahlberg is constantly just standing around, with his shirt off. And let's not forget that they're being
annoyed at Tina Fey. I forget her character's name.
Oh, she goes all goo-goo-eyed.
She's like a prior, I don't know, maybe they knew each other in college.
Well, no,
she becomes elated electric just in this guy.
She was a real estate agent who showed him some properties or something.
Right.
And let's not forget that this movie also features a mobster or a mob boss played by Ray Liotta, who just shows up these days, and I laugh. He should be. He doesn't do shit. He shows up and he acts like Ray Liotta. It's just, but looking at him, it's kind of like.
I feel the tension.
Yeah.
I feel it. You just looking at a picture of Ray Liotta, I get like.
Yeah, you don't want to look at a picture of Ray Liotta too long.
Apparently, he is a nice guy in real life, but he sure is the bad guy thing down. The quasi, is he good, is he bad, kind of bad sort of thing. The movie doesn't really amount to anything as far as he's going.
No.
As far as what he's doing.
I hope he made a paycheck because he doesn't do much. It's not. It's like a walk-on role. Wahlberg doesn't do much but stand around with his shirt off.
The movie actually really doesn't go anywhere.
Yeah.
It's just funny seeing Tina Fey and Steve Carell do what they do.
Yep.
And everything is just lighthearted entertainment. No big whoop. Kids will love it. I'd see it again on DVD. Some laughs.
I think that's one of the reasons it works, because a lot of Carell's movies, they try to get him to do too much, In Evan, was it Evan Almighty or Evan?
Evan Almighty, yeah.
Yeah, he had way too much to do, And then Get Smart, he was okay, but
he may be. He's here. Okay, here's the thought. He's not the same sort of screen presence as Jim Carrey is, because when Jim Carrey's in a movie, he's cast. As he has been for the past 15 years, he holds the screen on his own. He has his own either black hole or mountain of stardom, whatever it is. He is the focus of whatever's happening when he's on screen. So he doesn't share the screen well with co-stars.
Right.
It's just other people working around him. Steve Carell may have been cast like that, but he's better when he's reacting to other people. He's better sharing the screen. And Tina Fey takes that edge off. He doesn't hold it like Jim Carrey does, but Tina Fey helps him here.
And both Carell and Fey are great improvisers, and I think too many actors think improvising is, oh, look how funny I can be, where improvising is really working with your the person in the scene with you to make the scene funny. It's not about me being funny. It's to make the scene funny.
They are two great reactors.
Yeah, yeah. And I encourage people, when you watch it, just watch when they're not talking. Watch how they react and, make the scenes funnier with their reactions. It's,
he has a very heartfelt speech. There is a moment where things kind of turn, and when they're sitting in the car after they've just had sort of a shakedown.
Mm-hmm.
Steve Carell's all shooken up, and he has two good monologues, and this first one about having her trust him was good. I mean, everything in the theater just seemed to stop. It was just dead. There was something that connected right there. So there's that scene that sort of you can latch on to the emotionality or whatever.
Wow.
Of what's going on.
Do not edit that. Leave that in.
And that carried things for a while. The impression that Steve Carell's character made there. So it's got a couple of touchstone moments that worked.
Yeah,
I think I was going to crack and be drawn in. But
and even
it was.
again, it's a scene like that, and it's other little scenes throughout the movie where, again, they're talented enough and good enough comedians to never have to depend on winking to the audience or letting us know they're being funny or, showing off that way. It's all very organic. It's all part of their personalities and the relationship they build on the screen. So, I cared about, I didn't ever think they were in danger.
Never.
Of the bad guys ever getting them, or
and they never thought that either.
Yeah.
Otherwise, the one thing you don't.
But I still cared about them.
Got a gun in your face is make jokes about it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just so non-48 hours.
Have you ever had a gun held in your face?
No.
I have.
No, but you told me
it's suddenly the world becomes surreal. And, it's like. At some point,
there's just the movie just does not. Movies just do not equate to reality, and I hate to admit that. But it's true.
Yeah,
it's true.
And again, this is
there's no freaking way you're going to do what they tell you to do.
Right.
That's the way.
Give them the flash.
And if you don't do what you tell them to do,
you get shot.
You're not here anymore. So, those couple of moments with Steve Carell and Tina Fey were just completely. That was too lighthearted. That was like extra times 1,000 lighthearted that would never happen.
And I really put the blame on that on Levy because he can't do heavy. He just can't. Is there anything on his list of credits that shows any kind of dramatic tension at all?
Looking at his filmography, he started on the Disney Channel.
Yeah. Well, he did a lot of gritty work. He did a lot of gritty work on the Disney Channel.
Go for it. Do his resume.
Oh, no. He did the Pink Panther. Here's, I didn't see Just Married. Was that Ashton Kutcher?
Was the Ashton Kutcher.
Yeah, that sucked.
What's her name?
He did episodes of Lassie, Jet Jackson.
I feel bad about saying what's her name, seeming as though she recently passed away.
What are you talking about?
Brittany Murphy.
Oh, good old. Did you just call her good old? What's her name?
I called her what's her name, and I'm like, that doesn't feel right. I'm sorry.
But I do want to give a shout out to Sean Levy for doing Big Fat Liar. Have you ever seen that?
No, but I'm recalling Paul Giamatti in Blueface.
Right, and the kid from Malcolm in the Middle.
Yeah.
And Amanda Bynes. Yeah. It's a guilty pleasure. It's hilarious. And Paul Giamatti in Blueface and just chewing up the scenes. It's hilarious. So.
Okay.
So he made that.
First major films.
Giamatti?
Yeah.
Probably, yeah. He's too big a star to do stuff like that now.
Yeah.
Before we've pretty much beaten this to death, but before we go.
I wanted to talk about Mark Wahlberg.
All right.
He's funny. This guy, he was funny in I Heart Hucklebees. He's a really funny guy. He ought to make more comedies.
Yeah.
And not be, he's got his hard-ass presence. Say hi to your mother for me, that kind of thing.
Where was that from? It sounded just like him.
I don't know, every other Mark Wahlberg movie. Andy. The Saturday Night Live skit. Say, how's your mom doing? Say hi to your mother for me. He's funny.
He is, and there's a moment when the Fosters, Tina Fey and Steve Carell, run into the people whose reservation they took and that set this thing apart. Mila Kunis and James Franco.
Yeah. I think James Franco, I immediately think Freaks and Geeks. That's just me.
Right. But here they are. It's just this little set piece in the movie, but hilarious. The two of them are just so out of control and funny as two burnout, low-level thieves who have the wildest way of talking.
I think they tried to show two different types of relationships, one at their end, and what are their names? They're kind of fun.
Taste and Whippet.
Taste and Whippet. And they explain why they're called Taste and Whippet.
Yeah.
And then on the other hand, you've got Kristen Wiig and Mark Ruffalo as the suburban couple that's getting a divorce.
Right.
But they're the inner city small-time crooks that are madly in love with her.
Right, with each other.
With each other.
Baby!
Yeah.
We out.
Yeah. Okay. I'm ready. Here. Okay.
Come on.
Wait. I don't know. Maybe leaving isn't such a good idea. This is our home.
Hey, no, it's not. This is your home. This is your home. Come on home. I love you.
Okay.
I love you.
I love you so much.
Hey. How are we supposed to get this to Mileto?
Mileto?
Joe Mileto, the guy that you're blackmailing.
You two are far from home, aren't you?
What's that supposed to mean?
No, have a good night.
That did not go down at all as I had expected.
Yeah.
Their home's here as he pounds a tattoo on his chest.
We have to do the 2-minute drill to get out of here. They know we're coming.
Again,
about our home.
So much energy from the two of them. So much energy, so much fun. And I think she's so hot.
She works.
Yeah, she
in
works.
That role,
she works for me.
Not in the Book of Eli, but in that one.
No.
For sure.
Yeah, she's very funny. So all in all, we can go on about. Did you want to say anything more about Mark Wahlberg? Here's your chance. Do that line again.
How's your mom?
I love that.
Say hi to your mother for me.
That's it.
Say hi to your mother for me.
I don't remember that. But I'll have to watch all the Mark Wahlberg movies now. I bet he does say it in all of them. I know he says it in Boogie Nights, but he's alone in the room when he says it, and that's scary.
You got to do it with the questionable intent of malice. The sort of like, how's your mom? Yeah, hey, say hi to your mother for me. That kind of, sort of a, so you really kind of feel like, probably not going to be saying hi to your mother.
All right, anyway. Obviously you've gone over the edge, so let's...
I have.
All in all...
talking about that, I recently got a friend said, I really like the podcast, Steve. You guys are nuts. I mean, like nuts, but it's funny. So I'm like, both insulted and flattered.
I'm just impressed anyone listens.
Yeah.
So anyway, let's wrap this one up and say that I recommend it. I think it's worth seeing.
Would you? In 3D?
In 3D, yeah. This would make an awesome movie. That car chase in 3D. Yeah. Don't even mention it. There's no reason I wouldn't pay $17 or whatever.
This
but
is going to be a family thing, so they're going to be putting down like $50, $60.
For what?
The
like
kids,
4 ticks?
Mom, Dad.
Yeah. Would you bring it? I think this is more like a family date than a date movie than a family movie.
And a family film.
Yeah.
I guess.
I don't know.
I guess I would pay $10. I could say, yeah, it's all right.
Yeah, I'd go see it. I'd definitely get it when it comes out on DVD.
If you agree with us, disagree with us, send us an email. We'd like to hear from you. We're at postmoviepodcast@gmail.com, and be sure to check out the website, which is currently postmovie.wordpress.com, but will soon be post-movie.net if I can get my technical act together and make that happen.
You will.
So. And we're on Facebook too, which has a link to iTunes, so you can also listen to us on iTunes, if you so choose.
All right.
Moving on to DVDs.
Yeah, there's so many fun DVDs that are out there.
I want to find out about, what is it, the chainsaw thing? Happy Chainsaw?
Well, did you not write it down?
No, I didn't write down the title. No, I wrote it down. It's over there. I forgot. Happy Chainsaw.
Where? Where'd you write it? Daughter, Audacity.
Oh, Negative Happy Chainsaw Edge.
That's it. That's it. The movie you're all waiting for. Negative Happy Chainsaw Edge. I requested this movie. They sent it to me.
On the basis of what?
The cover. Well, the title and the cover, because the title obviously is captivating, but the cover has a picture of this chainsaw-wielding madman, about to slice a young couple in half. And I was like, this is right in my wheelhouse. I want to see this movie. Well, it turns out it's a love story. It really doesn't have much to do with chainsaw-wielding madmen.
It's a love story about chainsaws?
No, it's a Japanese movie. It's about two lonely kids who the girl her family's been killed. They die in a car accident, and she's very sad. And somehow her sadness manifests itself as a giant with a chainsaw who challenges her to battle every night. And so there's all this insane kung fu action, with her fighting this chainsaw guy. None of it's really bloody. It's all pretty much PG-rated chainsaw massacre stuff.
Wow, I do want to see this now.
And then the boy becomes her assistant, and he can't fight worth a damn, but he's there to, to warn her. And it's really beautifully photographed. Every time the chainsaw guy's about to appear, it starts to snow. And it's really photographed really beautifully. It starts to snow, then the guy shows up, and they have this kung fu fight. And then every time they fight, she weakens him a little more because he represents her sadness, and she's starting to fall in love with the boy. Her sadness is waning, and so the chainsaw guy is getting weaker. But then when they fight, the girl and the boy have a fight, and the chainsaw guy gets strong enough to almost kill her. Yeah, it's wacky. There's no way to describe it. And I was so surprised. I think just because I was expecting something so different, that I really, really enjoyed it. And it's not only was it not what it promised on the cover, but it's subtitled. And I have a problem with that. But I still really loved this movie. It was huge fun.
I'm looking at it right now.
Yeah.
Sweet.
I would definitely check it out.
A martial arts buzzsaw, the new standard.
How can you resist anything called?
It's Japanese.
Yeah. Was it Negative Happy Chainsaw what?
Negative Happy Chainsaw Edge.
Yeah. It's the title. That should be on a T-shirt.
It's uncut special edition.
Yeah.
Man, the one I liked this week, and I guess I'm biased because I really like Broken Lizard. You've seen their?
No, I've seen their other movies. I haven't seen this new one.
The Slammin' Salmon. It's funny. They're good at doing the R-rated comedy. Mm-hmm. And I think what mostly endeared me to these guys is they felt that, I think after the failure of Club Dread, that their careers in Hollywood were over. And I've interviewed them a couple of times, and they came to the realization that they weren't gonna, like, individually, maybe a couple of them could do films or something, like that. But together, they were the package, and they've always kind of run that way, and I love that. They are Broken Lizard, and Beer Fest I thought was hysterical.
Right.
It was like their comeback thing. I really enjoyed it.
And what was the first one?
Super Troopers, and they also unofficially they did do the Dukes of Hazzard, although they did not get screenwriting credit for some contractual reason.
Right.
Broken Lizard did write that, and they did appear in it, and Jay Chandrasekhar directed it. So it's basically a Broken Lizard film with
Jessica Simpson and
Johnny Knoxville and Sean Patrick or
Sean William Scott,
one of those three name guys.
Stifler.
But so this the Slammin' Salmon is like streamlined Broken Lizard in the sense that they wrote a movie and got the funding for it, and it wasn't anything complicated. It's basically just filmed in this restaurant. The whole thing takes place in a giant soundstage, which is the Slammin' Salmon restaurant.
Right.
And Michael Clark Duncan is the owner, who's a boxer, and he's yada yada yada. His last name is Salmon. So he's the Slammin' Salmon. So these waiters are all trying to make about $20,000 in an evening so that he can, Michael Clark, the Slammin' Salmon can be reprieved of a debt, to a Japanese friend. And so these guys are basically doing whatever they can to sell the most expensive stuff on the menu in just one day. The movie takes place in one evening, so they've got hours to try and make this $20,000. And it's amusing, you know.
Is it gross? Does it have a lot of gross?
Yeah, it does. It does.
I have nothing wrong with that.
Setup moments that are sort of like, yeah. You know, I mean, they would never of course, as movies go, never actually happen in real life, but.
I don't mind setups if the payoff is there. You know, even if it's something that makes you go, oh, that's gross.
They play it as a team, and they all play their characters really well.
Yeah.
Chandrasekhar is the guy he plays this guy called Nuts, and he forgets that it's daylight savings. He has to take his meds at very specific times during the day, so he was 1 hour off because he forgot it was daylight savings. And when he's off his meds, things get a little weird. So that was kind of amusing. And Steve Lemmy, who one of the Broken Lizard guy, he played the Jewish guy in Beer Fest, the guy that had the Jewish star in his eyeball whenever he got pissed off.
Okay,
He's just really funny here. I dig the film.
Yeah.
Not a great film, but
that's okay.
Good, over the top.
Did you ever see a DVD called Waiting?
That's with
Ryan Reynolds.
Waiting?
Yeah.
Waiting. Isn't that the Nathan Fillion, Kerry Russell film?
That's Waitress.
Oh, that's Waitress.
Yeah.
Waiting. Oh, right. Waiting with Dane Cook.
Exactly. The only Dane Cook movie I will watch, and it's not, and I just fast forward when he's on screen because he doesn't do anything in it. It's got Louis Guzman.
Dane Cook, I guess, broke.
Yeah, it's got Louis Guzman. It's got Ryan Reynolds. Same kind of thing, but it's hilariously funny.
I thought it was the premises that they were all actors trying to be waiters.
No. It's like this low budget, like a ground round kind of restaurant, and just what happens during a day. It's very funny. But I will check out Slammin' Salmon. I do like the guys. I had no problem with Club Dread.
On the 16th.
You know, so I have another one to recommend, and I'm not sure. I'm going to recommend this with a footnote that the movie's called Taxidermia. Again, Taxidermia. Why'd I ask for this one? Name and cover. These are the two things that lead me into some truly impressive movie adventures. Because I see there's a picture of it looks like the Venus statue, but it's a man, and it's obviously a dead body that's been sewn back together.
A grotesque tale of 3 generations of men.
Right. Underline grotesque. Underline it, underline it, underline it, underline it, because it is horrifying.
Wow. Do you want to read the rest of it?
No. What is this from the IMDb?
Tale of 3 generations of men.
3 stories, 3 generations, 3 men, 1 bizarre and shocking universe. It's a grotesque tale of 3 generations of men, including obese speed eater, an embalmer of gigantic cats, and a man who shoots fire out of his penis. Now, you read a line like that and you say, they're never going to show that, right? They do.
And they found money to make the movie.
Yeah, it's Hungarian. I think it probably cost like $100 to make. And the great thing, you sit through this movie and then you watch the extras, and the guy really tries to explain why he made it, which is almost as funny as watching it. So there's 3 generations.
Those things can be great.
3 generations. And this is not a spoiler. This is kind of a warning, because anything I describe doesn't compare to actually seeing it in the movie.
Okay.
And if what I tell you now intrigues you, watch it. If it appalls you, stay away.
What company is peddling taxidermy?
I don't know. I don't know who sent it to me. So anyway, there's the first generation, which is in World War II, I think. And the father's talent is, yes, he can shoot fire out of his penis, which he does repeatedly. He also this is a weird. No, this is weirder. He has intercourse, and we think it's with the fat wife of the general he serves under, or it could be with the carcass of the pig they just slaughtered to eat. It kind of cuts between the two, and you're never really sure what he's having sex with until the fat wife delivers a child that has a ringed tail, like a pig's tail. Which they snip off. Stick with me, boys. Stick with me.
Hanging in there.
That child, the child with the pigtail, grows up to be the Hungarian competitive eating champion.
Okay.
He's so good, he has a style of vomiting named after him. Because after they eat, they all go to a huge bin and regurgitate. And they regurgitate so hard they have to hold on, like head straps hold them back, because they're just puking up constantly. So the second generation is a competitive food eater who has a vomiting technique named after him. He gives birth to a son, skinny, pale, who is a taxidermist. And the father's still alive. He's kept in the basement where he's, you know that fat guy in Meaning of Life?
Yes.
Bigger than that. He's so huge he can't move. He just, he has a bucket under him for his waste needs. And the father is living out his life training cats to be competitive eaters. So he has huge cats. And the son is like trying to service him while he's also trying to have a life of his own as a taxidermist. One day the son snaps, kills his dad, stuffs him, mounts him and stuffs him, as all good taxidermist sons will do.
Oh, man.
Now, you think you've reached the boiling point. No. The son, frustrated by 3 generations of this madness, the son comes up, develops a machine so he can perform taxidermy on himself while he's alive.
Oh, great.
So he's strapped into this machine, guts himself, stuffs himself, and then pulls a lever and cuts his head off. And his body is then placed in a museum as a work of art. The end. Again, I couldn't make this shit up. And I sat there with my brother watching it. My brother looked at me more than he did at the movie. Every time something would happen on the screen, he'd look at me and go, "What the fuck are we watching this for?"
Appalling.
And I'd be like, and I'd be sitting there just laughing. I was like, no, keep watching. And it'd be another like obnoxious scene. And he would just look at me and I was like, "Well, leave the room if you can't take it." He was, "No, I'm gonna wait." It never got any better. It just got weirder and weirder. And I'll be glad to pass it on. That's all I can say.
Jeez, man.
Don't watch it. Don't watch it with other people in the room. Don't make the mistake I did of thinking anyone else wants to see this. But it's something.
I'm intrigued and afraid.
Yeah, the thing is, I've always wondered, can movies change your life? This one can't. But your life's different after you've seen it. Maybe not change. Just feel a little different. So, top that. And I apologize for anyone who had to sit through that, and has a weak constitution, but
you made it,
man.
It's a part of the John Black film collection.
Oh yeah. I want this played at a loop at my funeral, just over and over and over again.
Wow.
Yeah. So I challenge you to top that.
I can't, but I can say I haven't seen this next movie, but I do want to see it. Defendor. It's the Woody Harrelson pseudo superhero flick.
Really?
Yeah.
Never heard of it.
I haven't seen it, but it played at Toronto. I didn't get the chance to see it there, which kind of bummed me out. But they were promoting it pretty heavily at the Film Fest last year. And so he's a kind of a psycho who believes he's a superhero. The story's about him and his psychologist.
Oh, yeah.
And, basically him and his buddies rising up to defend the city. And that's all I can say. That's all I can. Hopefully by this time next week I'll have seen it. Or in the next couple of weeks anyway, on DVD. But I am intrigued, and I'm kind of like wondering why it didn't get a theatrical release.
Because usually, especially because Harrelson's been getting award attention with...
maybe they just didn't have the money. I can't
what was the one he did where he was the soldier who went and told... Messenger. Because he got a award attention with that, usually whenever anyone gets an award or is listed as a Golden Globe nominee or something like that, some piece of crap they made to make money appears on shelves, and you're like, "Oh, this guy's an Academy Award nominee. We should see this." And it's usually,
Looks
horrendous.
Like it could be funny.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I am intrigued though. It's just falling into the psycho superhero thing.
Anything else in your DVD grab bag?
Disney's got The Great Mouse Detective coming out.
I would watch that.
I would too. Believe it or not.
I did get a chance to watch Steel this week.
Oh, yes.
1997 superhero movie starring Shaquille O'Neal as...
How tall is he?
Steel. Like 80 feet tall. It looks that in the movie. You know, no matter what they do, everyone in the movie has to crane their neck to look at him.
Lots of apple boxes being used in that.
Oh, no, they don't even bother. They don't even bother. He's like walking down the street with some guy, and you're like, the guy's like, you know, basically almost falling over, trying to talk up to Shaquille. And the funny thing is, you know, when no one can figure out the identity of who this Steele guy is, he's like a 7'5" black guy dressed in armor, but no one can figure out who he is, even though they see Shaquille O'Neal standing at the crime scene like, ooh, who could it be?
This was before, like, comic book characters were big market property.
Oh, yeah.
So Steele is what? Is it Marvel or DC, do you recall? Or was it like
it's the same as Superman. What is, so DC, yeah.
And so this is when they were making half-assed efforts to, you know.
This is back when they were making Howard the Duck and, you know, just.
That far back.
Well,
really?
when was Howard the Duck?
Howard the Duck was late 80s.
Was it? Well, this was 97, so it's the same. It's in the same.
It would be just before Blade. Howard the Duck.
Any bets?
86.
86.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I remember the reviews. I remember.
Did you see it though?
Toilet time for Lucasfilm.
Did you see it?
No.
You've not wait.
No. I saw it on video. I didn't see it in the theater.
Awesome.
But this was where
Awesomely
Lucasfilm had come up with, you know, Willow and Howard the Duck. I guess sort of close to each other.
Yeah, he was on a roll. This is his creative.
A negative role.
His creative nadir. So anyway, Steele isn't good by any stretch of imagination, but God, it's funny.
Oh man, I'm gonna scrape that thought off my.
It's just it's got Judd Nelson as the bad guy, and Shaquille O'Neal, Richard Roundtree as the grumpy old junkyard owner. It's so dated, even in '90. So it's only.
So this is new to DVD.
Yeah, it just came out on the Warner Brothers, you know, archive collection. So you can only get it through Warner Brothers archive.
It's a classic.
Yeah, it's a classic. It's a, you know, that's, you know, I hope Warner Brothers doesn't hear this, but that's the biggest absurdity. You know, these are classics, and they bring out the crappiest movies. Anyway, it's kind of nostalgic to watch something like this and listen to the street kids talk like bad, you know, rappers, and I got a kick out of it. I'll never watch it again. And I was kind of like hiding to make sure no one saw me watching it, but I had fun watching it.
Guilty pleasure?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You know what's actually also coming out is on Blu-ray, Apollo 13 and Gone with the Wind. I'm sure there's a number of people that...
Together? Kind of like a dance mix?
In a week or so.
That would be cool.
They're
mashed.
At some point in the future, they're already doing movie mashups on YouTube. So
that would work. I would. Scarlett O'Hara in space.
On Blu-ray. Also, Wall Street. I'm surprised that it would be actually coming. You'd think that they'd, you know, release it in another couple of months when.
Well, wasn't
Wall Street for whatever that movie's sequel
Wall Street
called.
2? Wasn't Wall Street 2 supposed to already be out? And it got. I think Wall Street 2 was supposed to already be out, and it got pushed back.
Oh.
So they probably didn't tell the DVD division that Oliver needed more time.
And if anybody cares, we were wrong about Pirate Radio. I think we said it came out.
Our review was right. Just our timing was wrong.
Right. So that's coming out too. And Nightmare on Elm Street.
Again?
On, DVD.
Why?
You don't already own it?
Yeah. Who does? You know, is it on Blu-ray or something? Or?
Yeah, I think so.
There's a movie that doesn't really need to be on Blu-ray.
Yeah.
It's not going to be any better. The new one's coming out soon, though. I've seen previews for it. It just looks awful.
Really? I'm looking forward to it.
Well, I'm looking forward to it.
Jackie Earle Haley does evil so well.
Yeah.
That I think this is a good casting decision.
I hope so.
You know,
Who directed it, though? And isn't Michael Bay the producer?
I don't recall.
Not a good sign.
But you know, the handy IMDb, screw it.
Yeah. I'm sure we'll talk about it.
Dolan's Cadillac?
Dolan's Cadillac. Christian Slater and Wes Bentley from American
Beauty.
Thank you.
And Ghost Rider.
Was he in Ghost Rider?
Yeah.
God.
He was.
Ghost Rider. Ghost Rider or Ghost Rider?
Ghost Rider.
Rider.
R-I-D-E-R.
Yeah, it's this ridiculous Stephen King story about.
No, I liked Ghost Writer.
Wes Bentley is a guy married to a woman who witnesses Christian Slater, who's a mobster, whack some people, and then Christian Slater in turn kills her, and the husband gets his revenge in the most ridiculous fashion ever. And it's stupid, but I get a kick out of watching Christian Slater in bad movies like this. He's
Does
just,
he do the Christian Slater voice like this?
Yes.
He does?
Yes, he does. So you know it's awesome.
He's got that down.
You know, I actually saw him in London do One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest on stage, just because it was Christian Slater, and he did that voice. He did the Christian Slater voice doing Jack Nicholson. It was awesome.
He channels Jack Nicholson.
Oh, yeah.
Basically, he's not.
So imagine seeing him.
The fact that he's such a huge.
So imagine seeing him on the
fan.
stage doing, Nicholson's Oscar-winning role as the guy from Cuckoo's Nest. It was fun. So anyway, yeah, that's only for people who really like to watch Christian Slater do that kind of thing. It's a stupid movie, but I watch it.
I think he's right for TV. That TV show that he did last year.
That got canceled?
Yeah, well, I would have liked to have seen it succeed. I think he's good as in a Kiefer Sutherland way. If he gets the right show, he's going to be, that'll be.
They always give him stuff like 25. It's always a ripoff of somebody else's stuff that he's doing. It's always. No one comes up with an original Christian Slater idea. So.
And I thought when he was, what was that Yui Bowl movie that he was, if I'm pronouncing that guy's name?
Oh, he'll beat you up. He'll come beat you up.
Really? Oh yeah, that's right.
Yui likes to beat up critics.
That movie he made with Tara, oh crap, I don't know, it was some garbage comic book thing the other day.
The vampire thing?
Christian Slater in this action. Now I got to look it up. Now I got to look it up. All right, Christian Slater.
We could do a whole show on Yui Bowl. Have you ever seen any of his movies? Oh, they're trash.
Slater.
Oh, he actually challenged critics to a boxing match. And
Alone in the Dark?
I didn't see that.
Thing? Yeah.
Alone in the Dark, huh?
Yeah.
Nope, didn't see it, but I will now.
Tara Reid. A failure.
See, again.
It sound great, but sucked.
Probably one of the great underrated Tara Reid movies. She was in The Big Lebowski.
So many.
I interviewed her for The Big Lebowski.
Did you?
Yeah.
Oh, you did the Big Lebowski press?
No, I did a phono with her.
Oh.
Without having not having seen the movie.
And
then I find out she's in it for like 3 minutes.
I love that movie. It doesn't go away. You see it on T-shirts every day. It may be getting to the point where it's a bit overrated.
What?
The dude may be. I love the dude.
He abides.
But sometimes there's too much dude in the world.
All right, letters of complaint can be sent where, Steve?
Can be sent to postmoviepodcast@gmail.com. And so let us know if you agree or disagree with our DVD picks, discussions, and whatnot, or if there's anything else that you want to
let me know
bring to the table.
Do me a
Email
favor,
us.
anyone who's out there and watches Taxidermia, send me something.
Hey, yeah,
send me
the
anything.
emails are gonna be
just
flowing.
send me the hate mail that forever mentioning that. Send me your psychotic reactions to it.
Oh, man.
If you liked it, send it, but
I don't think
add some kind of
anybody's
warning.
even heard of that thing.
I might start carrying it around and just hand it to people randomly.
It's like a business card.
I think that would work.
Okay.
It sounds like psychic scarring on a stick.
Yeah, it is. It is. You want to borrow it? You know you do.
Sean, guess what you get to do?
What?
Tell me about Warlords.
Warlords.
Yeah. The movie I saw 20 minutes of,
No, you can go back to it.
I wanted to see it, and I made a commitment to John to watch this movie, and I couldn't because yesterday I worked as an extra on Boston's Finest, and they had us working until 6 a.m. But it was fun. It was fun. It was a real
talk about that more than my recommending
they're
movie.
filming this pilot for I guess ABC owns it. People talk on the set. This is what I heard. With Katie Sackhoff playing a Boston police detective. And
Katie Sackhoff from Battlestar Galactica.
Bionic
Hubba
Woman.
hubba.
She's very cute, very nice. I got to do a scene with her. I mean, I really actually got to be a crime scene investigator guy.
Let's see how good an actor you are.
Dustin for fingerprints.
Did you have a line?
No, I didn't.
Oh.
But she tells me what to do.
What'd she tell you?
So that's fine. Can we get fingerprints on this?
Awesome. I wish we were on video now. You should see.
I break out my fingerprint kit, and I'm like, dusty, dusty, dusty.
You didn't say that, I hope, because
no.
that kind of ruins the scene.
I was thinking that. I was saying that out loud.
Hear the sound guy going, who keeps saying dusty, dusty, dusty?
Well, they showed me how to do the, the forensic stuff.
Yeah.
And, you're supposed to, you have this, like, dusty brush thing, and, you...
That could be a stage name, Dusty
kind
Brush.
Of a wiping motion, but it's really more of a twisting motion. You take the thing and you just kind of twirl it along, wherever you're trying to pick up fingerprints from. And in this
Right.
particular scene, we're in a laundromat, which was giving me a fucking headache because we're just like surrounded by laundry detergent, and it was like laundry detergent and dusty forensic stuff. And they had the first aid guy go get me a couple of Tylenol.
They're not going to call you back if you had to get first
No,
aid
well,
on
they
your
won't be
first
calling
day.
me back because last night was the last day.
But what if they have? What if you might get a spin-off?
That would be nice.
Dusty Brush, crime
You know, we had,
investigator.
we had firearms, and they give you the speech about, you know, how like that gun does not come out of its holster, that whole, like, you know, you have it, but, you know, that stays right. And apparently it was a real gun, you know. And
Did you check?
No.
You
No, there was one time
someone
where
strapped a gun on you
little
and you didn't
snap
even
thing
check?
across the top of the gun came loose, and I got nervous. I was like, oh my God, I thought someone's going to see me.
Because, you know, if anyone could accidentally shoot themselves with a prop gun, it would be
I
you.
had imagined that something like that could happen. Like they screwed something up in the
Yeah.
prop department. And the
Look
gun
on
was
the
actually-
internet, Katie Sackhoff killed by a random
Oh,
bullet from
Jesus
an extra.
You know, it was.
So what was she wearing?
Well, she was wearing her Boston Police light blue jacket. I was wearing my crime scene CSI type of jacket.
Yeah. Did they give you a cool mustache? That would be awesome.
No, but they slicked my hair back. They put all this goop in it and combed it straight back like I would never. But apparently that's what Boston police do.
Yeah, yeah.
If, you know, if you're in the police department, you put product in your hair and you comb it straight back. And it just stays that way for like, I was on the set for like 10 hours.
Yikes.
Dusting the same thing over and over again. But
So-
it was cool, you know.
So what's Katie like?
Well, one thing, I used to work on movies. I used to be a cameraman. And the main thing that you do when you're working on a movie set is you don't talk, you know, with the
Talent?
With the talent. You know, with the, I mean, you can be a crew member, electric, grip, cameraman, whatever. You just keep your conversations within, you know, the people you're reporting to, and let the, you know, the creatives do what they're supposed to do. So the idea is you just don't talk. So I'm basically, you know, the director's painting with you, and you just have to do specifically what they say, because as an extra, people tend to really get mad at an extra, and I used to direct extras,
Right.
And I didn't get, I got mad at people that got mad at extras because they shouldn't be treated like cattle. So I'm sympathetic to that, but I also know that you just, when you're told to do something on a set, you just pay attention and you go ahead and do it.
Right.
And so they for whatever reason, they chose me to come in and do the scene with her. And there was once, you know, we did it like so many times. I mean, it was like the same thing being covered over and over again for like, I was literally on the set for 10 hours. It was a long time.
Right.
There was one time where I just, you know, you move into frame too far because they're very specific about blocking. And, you know, that'll piss off the assistant director. You just have to stand where you're told and do what you do. And as long as nobody complains, all is great.
Right.
So she had this line where she needed some eye line, and they brought me in to, you know, make sure that she had some contact here and some interaction. So I got to, you know, do some stuff with the forensics thing, which is pretty cool. We did this scene where she is investigating the kidnapping of this child's mother that happened at a laundromat. And apparently it was kind of a theatrical kidnapping. It was certainly detrimental to the child. And they had this child actor there. He was, I don't know, I forget his name, but these people were really good. I'm impressed with how these actors can just like turn it on like that,
Right.
you know, on screen and emote, you know, and just like do that. And I did get some advice from one of the other actors that was working with Katie Sackhoff. And basically it was, you know, even when you're working off screen, the actors were repeating the mantra, fake it till you make it. You just have to look like you're doing it
Right.
really well, and just, you know, keep your thoughts on where you're supposed to be going. Like they always say to an actor, the worst kind of an extra is an extra that doesn't know where they're going. Like you can be walking down the street, and some extras float through scenes, and it's distracting because they're like, but you always got to know where you're going.
Right.
Just hit your mark and do it, and everything's cool. So, but you know, it was cool. You know, at least I get to say, did a, you know, sequence with Katie Sackhoff.
Put it to you. We can probably get
You
it.
may never see it. It may never be bought. by ABC,
But it could be a spin-off. You don't know. Katie's a pretty hot property in more ways than one.
She's got a fan base.
Yes, she does.
And I think it was cool.
Do you remember that when they did the remake of The Bionic Woman?
I do.
And it was a
So I
sucky
think
show,
I
and
saw
then
most of it.
it was this half-ass show, and then Katie Sackhoff came on as the bad
Bad Bionic Woman.
the bad Bionic Woman, and stole the show, and just it ended in a year because, you know, it's like, well, she's a lot better than the woman they cast.
Yeah, that was kind of a letdown.
You didn't talk to her about Halloween was it H2O? Which Halloween was she in?
No. In fact, I didn't even. This is how much I've been avoiding 24 to try not to spoil it for me. I didn't even know she was in 24.
Yeah.
I'm all the way up to season 6, and I'm like, I don't want to know anything about these episodes. I
Right.
did not know she was in 24.
It's funny because if you watch her in the Halloween, I think it was H2O. It's the one where they taped the reality series in the house.
I don't know.
She's a little chubby thing. It's pretty, and now she's like, you know, hot babe.
Yeah.
So she was a hot chubby thing. Don't get me wrong, but
as a classic Galactica fan, who every Sunday.
wait, the Lauren Green one?
Lauren Green, yeah.
Okay.
Religiously in front of the TV set at 7 o'clock. Oh, no, Galactica was 7 or 8 o'clock on Sundays.
I don't know.
I, for the longest time, could not abide the new series and the changes they made because I thought it was just like
sacrilege.
Fuck that.
Wow.
Screwing with Starbuck and all that.
You're lucky you got within 100 yards of Katie Sackhoff.
I was so into man, I used to show up to school in my Galactica T-shirt and get teased for that damn thing.
You're going to get teased for it right now.
But, you know, the show, you know, was good. You know, I got over it. I didn't like Ronald Moore. I thought in an interview he was kind of a jerk, and that also set me back into wanting to get to know the show. But I was fortunate to be able to go to the set in Vancouver.
Mm-hmm.
You know how sometimes when they bring you on they bring you on a set visit, they you know, you go, you like make a side, for a couple hours you do a side thing and go visit this and, you know, check that out. Well, we were doing this thing for X-Men and they brought us over to the Galactica set in Vancouver, which was kind of cool. Got to see some of the stuff. They weren't actually filming, but having seen some of the stuff, I was like, oh man, Viper, that's so damn cool. Damn them for being so goddamn cool. You know, it's like, I just kind of gave in to the coolness of it. I was like, oh man, all right, I'll watch it.
Yeah.
You know?
They thank you for it. And I'm sure if you had told Katie this story, you would have been escorted off the lot.
As Starbuck, you know, you've finally come around. I finally came around to digging it. It took me a while. I was a holdout, you know. I'm more the Richard Hatch, you know, Dirk Benedict Galactica thing. And they just, in the new Galactica, they just didn't have characters that were comparable to
Lauren Green,
you know, Starbuck and Apollo like that.
Mm-hmm.
You know? I mean, it was more like a wimpy guy kind of thing, and that pissed me off. You know, I mean, where's the Starbuck? Where's, you know, the Starbuck doing stuff, but it's not really Starbuck. It's somebody who has a nickname. You know, whatever.
I just like letting it run at moments
I'm
like
going,
this. He's digging the hole deeper and deeper.
I'm just gonna
you know,
to get me out of
I don't think we should. I think we should wrap this up because.
You want to talk about Warlords?
No, how can I talk about a movie I liked after that rant? Watch it.
All right.
It's a good movie. It's a really good performance by Jet Li.
I promise I'll watch it.
Yeah. But I think we should just back away from you now. You're getting kind of scary.
Oh man.
All right.
I thought you were going to tease me about wanting to talk about Kick-Ass. See, I got it in.
See, you did. All right. Next week, the long-awaited review of Kick-Ass.
So hey, you know, send us an email. Let us know what you think. We'd love to hear from you. And we'll have some more contests coming up in the future. You know, we still have some DVDs available.
I still do, yeah.
You know,
and I want to let the people know who won DVDs from us. They have been mailed out.
They so did get.
So
I got to tell you,
they're all out there. And on a side note, our esteemed colleague Dan Kimmel, I guess in one of our recent podcasts, I was talking about The Bicycle Thief, which I get on a Galaxy Quest-like rant when I talk about that movie. And evidently I called it Italian fascism, and it's really Italian realism.
Oh, right. I remember thinking, was that a movement in France?
Yeah, and Dan was trying to correct me. He goes, there wasn't a fascist movement. I go, there was after that movie. So, in case Dan ever listens to this.
Dan is an encyclopedia of films. He really knows. You know, you get it. I've had a few conversations with him, and he really, you know, brings out some specifics.
Right, but will he watch Taxidermia? No. No. Or if he does, you know, yes, Dan has an encyclopedic knowledge, and he's he's a good writer and a good guy. But I also watched him storm out of Saw 1 and call it Nazi filmmaking and just leave in the middle of it. And I was like, I'm having fun. Why'd Dan leave? And he hates Adam Sandler movies, so.
All right.
I will, though, next time I see him, I will ask him his opinion about Battlestar Galactica, if he's a traditional Dirk Benedict. Was that his name?
You don't know?
No.
It doesn't just fly?
It doesn't, no, it doesn't, it's not really, it doesn't occupy any of the little gray matter I spare for such things. Is that his name, Dirk? Lord what?
Cassiopeia?
Look, he's speaking in tongues now, people. We have to leave.
The whole opening sequence of Clash of the Titans has been lifted from Battlestar Galactica. The zooming through, the dialogue, that's like Galactica. The same thing. The original series.
All I remember, and this is, look, I want
Lords of Koval.
This is,
don't you get it?
I want a third, an interested third party. Well, Paul, our producer, Paul, I want you to keep a close eye on Steve's face when I say this. I never saw the series Battlestar Galactica.
Good Lord.
I did see the movie, though, when it hit theaters in the surround sound.
I did see that, too. That was awesome. I digged it. You remember that? The big friggin' surround sound?
Yeah, I do.
I do. Shaking the whole.
Yeah.
That was awesome. There were only like 5 films ever released in surround sound. That, Midway, Zoot Suit, which actually wasn't true surround sound.
Pee-wee's Big Adventure.
And, I think Earthquake.
Earthquake.
Pee-wee's Big Adventure.
It was.
Since around then. That was awesome. That was a kid.
It doesn't top Odorama.
No. Is that like a John Waters thing?
Yeah, polyester. It came with a scratch card that when a number would blip on the screen, you scratched it, and it'd be like, ooh, new car smell, or dirty feet smell, or at one point someone farted, and the number...
So he captured that in the number...
Yeah, like the scratch card for number 5 would be fart, and you'd scratch it, and allegedly it smelled like fart. I made the comic choice to scratch it and stick it under my date's nose.
Oh, you saw this when it came out?
Oh yeah, I love John Waters movies. So yeah, the guy farted, I scratched it, I stuck it under my date's nose. End of date. What can I say? But I knew from then she didn't have a sense of humor.
Kind.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, good. Here, honey, smell mine, which is what we would do if we were married, years in the future.
Oh, man.
And on that note,
okay.
I want to really thank anyone who stayed this long. We had fun.
I forgot to thank Paul last time, or the past couple of times, our producer, editor, Paul Leisen, the guy who does the show, and we would have no show without him, so it's total awesomeness there. Thanks, Paul. So, hey, as always, send us an email and check us out at postmovie.wordpress.com, soon to be postmovie.net, and until next time, arrivederci. So long, ciao.